Chapter 6. Break-in at Miss Rose's. The Colonel hunched over the wheel of the Underbird, zipping us past golden soybean fields, dark pine forests, a broke-down car. "That's Uncle Austin's car," Dale said as we screeched around the curve. "I'll tell Lavender." Lavender's family could keep him in business if any of them ever paid. We bounced across Miss Rose's dirt drive and into the yard of her old tin-roofed farmhouse. "Are you all right?" the Colonel demanded, hopping out. "Just barely," she said, and Dale rushed to hug her. A gang of dappled, knee-high birds with featherless, paste-white faces ran shrieking across the yard. "Guineas," I told Harm, who's from the city, Dale's new security system. We hurried to Miss Rose's side. "Macon kicked the back door in," she told the Colonel as we walked up. "Daddy wouldn't do that," Dale cried. "How can I keep us safe with the door busted in? He knows I'm not good with tools." Miss Rose watched the Colonel. "I glimpsed the door and the kitchen," she said, "and I dialed 911 and you." 911, Star's on his way. We'll check for clues before Star gets here," I told her as Harm plopped down on the steps and stretched out his long legs. "Negative," the Colonel snapped. "Up, Harm. Macon could be in the house." Harm jumped up and wheeled to face the door behind him. "Mr. Macon? Still here?" A distant siren pierced the quiet, setting the coyotes in the woods howling and the guineas whirling across the yard. Star's Impala skidded to a stop beside the bird bath. "Where is he?" he demanded, tumbling out. "He may be inside," the Colonel said. "Rose keeps her shotgun in the bedroom closet. Shell's on the top shelf. Be careful." Several long minutes later, Miss Rose's front door swung open. "All clear," Star said. He marched to the drive and squatted to examine the tracks, wheeling in and out. He squinted at Miss Rose's Pinto under the pecan tree. "Did you drive in this way?" "Several times," she said. "Lavender, too, and the Colonel just now." "And a patrol car, if I read these tracks right," Star said, slapping the dirt off his hands. "Did you notice anything missing inside?" She frowned. "I'd piled up some of Macon's things to give away. The pile's gone. A hunting jacket, Sunday shoes, an old wallet. I don't know what else." Dale sighed. "Mama and me gave Daddy that hunting jacket one Christmas. Mama tried to give it to Lavender the other day, but he won't wear it." "Of course not," I thought. "Lavender's no hand-me-down Macon." "Why would Macon take an old wallet?" Harm muttered. "We don't know it was him," Dale said, his voice sharp. Miss Rose put her hand on Dale's shoulder. "My canned food cabinet's wiped out, too. Tomatoes, beans, squash. I have no idea what else." Dale frowned. "Daddy won't eat squash." She shivered in her gray coat. The guineas squawked and a car started. I saw the kicked-in door and I ran. She heard Mr. Macon's car start? "Close call," Star muttered. He pushed his hat back. "Your shotgun's gone, too. I hate to ask, but I need someone to walk through with me, room by room, to identify everything that's missing. I'll notify the pawn shops. There's a chance we can get some of it back." Dale looked like life had knocked the wind out of him. Miss Rose didn't look much better. "Harm and me know where everything's supposed to be," I said. Star surprised me. "Thanks, Mo." The Colonel nodded. "I'll wait with Rose and Dale." "Excellent," I said. "As co-investigator, I say we keep this break-in quiet. We got too many rumors already, and someone may mention a detail they shouldn't know, giving us a clue." Star ran his finger across his eyebrow. "Good idea," he admitted. "Right," I said, grabbing my camera. "We're burning daylight." We stepped inside Miss Rose's living room. Miss Rose's living room told its usual peaceful story. Piano, sofa, writing desk, high-backed chair by the phone. Not a throw pillow out of place. Lavender's old room told a different story. Bookcase overturned, closet agape, dresser spitting shirts and socks. "Wrecked," Harm said. totally tossed. I peeped in an open drawer. Mr. Macon's old shirts and socks, in case Dale ever grows, I told Star. This drawer's empty, so Mr. Macon has street clothes. Harm flipped a chair right side up. I eased the closet door open with my sneaker. The camping gear's gone, I announced. Sleeping bag, hatchet, lantern. Even the broke cook stove, which Dale and me are more or less innocent in. Why would he take a busted stove? Harm asked, folding an old undershirt back into a drawer. Harm's neat, like Miss Rose. In a hurry, Star said, making a note. Forgot it didn't work. I spun, canvassing the room. The sagging bed, Lavender's weights and a chin-up bar, and an old trunk from Miss Rose's little girl days. Dale's moved the hand weights to his room, I told Star. Everything else is good. Let's check out the kitchen next. Star scribbled a note. Okay, but it's pretty bad from what I saw. Even with his warning, Miss Rose's normally spick and span kitchen punched me like a fist. Back doors splintered, cabinets gawking, drawers spewing utensils. Blood, I said, following splotches on the linoleum floor to an open drawer. Knives, Harm guessed, peeping over my shoulder. Dishcloths, for a bandage, maybe. Fingerprints should be easy to pull, I said, staring at the blood on the drawer front. DNA, too, if you want it. Above the drawer, a cabinet door stood ajar. Harm grabbed a spatula and eased it open. Salt, pepper, Dale's goofy ceramic frog jar, its hat crooked. Harm took out his handkerchief, lifted the hat, and went up on his toes. Empty. That explains the wallet, I said. Mr. Macon took their cash. As Star went to the shattered back door, I took out my camera and stepped back for a wide shot. Click! I focused on Star, who stood staring across the backyard and blue-green collard field. Dale's mule, Cleo, stamped her hooves by the stable. Click! Macon drove the patrol car back here to hide while loading it up, Star said, pointing to the tracks pressed into the grass. Then he doubled back for some reason. Or we got two cars, I thought, my gaze following the second trail of bent grass to the stable. Click. Let's check Miss Rose's room, then Dale's, I said. I hate this for them. Miss Rose's room looked untouched, all oak and lace. Just the missing shotgun. I thought he'd tear this room up. Let's try Dale's room. I led the way. Dale's door swung open. Unmade bed, tangle of jeans, a scatter of dog toys, hand weights, beanbag chair, pawn shop guitar, a shelf of animal books, and Dale's dog-eared favorite, Manners Girls Like. Star whistled. Macon turned this place upside down. No, Harm said, peeking in the closet. This is about right. Star sidestepped a landslide of music books and made his way to the terrarium. Dale's newt, Sir Isaac Newton, blinked up at him. Anything disturbed, he asked. Just Newton, I said. We think he may be clinically depressed. I would be too, Star muttered, sprinkling a few dried bugs at Newton's feet. The door behind us bumped against the wall and we all jumped. What's taking so long? Dale demanded. He panned around the room, taking everything in. Where's my red flashlight? I need it. His flashlight? How did I miss that? I turned to Star, very official. And the red flashlight is gone. Dale watched us, his eyes like sky before a storm. Newton's upset, he said, walking to the terrarium and turning his back to us. You'd better go. Thanks, Dale, we're done, Star said, and we headed for the door. After Star roared away, we trooped into the house. Miss Rose went from shocked to furious in 10 seconds flat as she re-examined her kitchen. Of all the no good, she bit off the end of her sentence, scooped up an armload of utensils from the floor, and dumped them into her sink. She leaned against the counter and closed her eyes. I went woman to woman. It's natural to be angry when a felonious ex kicks in your door, I said, very adult. If you ask me, she held up her hand like a traffic cop. "Excuse me, Mo," she said. "I need to change clothes." "Sorry, baby," she said, rumpling Dale's blonde hair. "I'm just tired." Tired of Mr. Macon, I thought. Who wouldn't be? She bustled back moments later in slacks and a soft work shirt, her dark hair swept up. "It won't take long to set this place right," she said, turning to the sink. Dale gave her a smile as he scrubbed the blood off the drawer front. To me, he looked wobbly. I nudged him away. "I seen a million kitchen cuts at the cafe," I told him. "I got this. Besides, the Colonel needs your help." He rushed to Harm's side. The boys held the splintered door in place as the Colonel crisscrossed it with duct tape and wedged a chair under the knob. "That will hold if nobody tries it," the Colonel said as Miss Rose slammed a pot on the stove. "Why don't you and Dale pack a bag, Rose? We'll clean up tomorrow." She ran a sink of sudsy water. "Macon will not run me out of my home." Miss Lana calls Miss Rose independent. "The Colonel says she's hard-headed as a railroad stake. He also says to choose your fights." "As you wish," he said. "I'll take the couch. Where would you like Mo to sleep? We aren't going to leave the two of you out here alone." Miss Rose glared at him like she could ignite him, which, if he stood still long enough, maybe she could. The Colonel waited, cool as midnight. Her glare faltered, and she smiled. "What if we called Lavender and see if he can spend the night?" "I'm on it," I said, and blasted down the narrow hall to the phone. Lavender snatched up the phone on the first ring. "I said leave me alone," he said, his voice sideways and rough. My smile died. "Lavender? What's wrong?" He exhaled like downshifting into a curve. "Sorry, Mo. I thought you... It's just that the twins are giving me a fit. What's up?" The twins make grown men cry, but they have never made Lavender that mad before. "Did Mr. Macon call you?" I demanded. "Let me talk," Dale said, grabbing the phone. "Lavender, we have been robbed and the door was only taped on. Mama and me hope you can come over now." I pulled the phone back. Star said Mr. Macon might go to see you too. Lavender's voice cracked. "He won't if he knows what's good for him." "Macon has Miss Rose's shotgun," I added. Silence zinged through the line. "Tell Mama I'm on my way." That night I opened the Piggly Wiggly Chronicles and picked up my pen. Dear upstream mother, Mr. Macon busted out of jail. Lavender's in danger and Dale's life is ruined. Lavender charged into Miss Rose's place like the cavalry. He wore his scarred-up jeans and his green corduroy shirt and that denim jacket the exact color of his eyes. Not that it matters. The Colonel and Star say Mr. Macon will likely sneak out of town tonight if he can. I think so too. Adios to bad news, I say. Also, adios to my hopes for vengeance and a perfect conviction record. Dale and Miss Rose look stretched as old socks. Mo. P.S. I looked for you in the courtroom, but I didn't see you. Are you in borderline law enforcement like me? Feel free to track me down. And that's the end of Chapter 6.